Yo, 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 yo. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing? What's going on? What's up, Shorty? Are you charging us for listening? Nah, not at all. Hang out, enjoy the show. Ayo. Ayo. Why did I take the V down? The V broke. Member only. It's not on members only, is it? If it is, that's a problem. First of all, because I don't have this many members. It's like 94. I was like, that's pretty impressive because I don't have that many. Actually, I don't know how many I have on. How many I have on YouTube? Oh, I knew I forgot something. It's okay. If I have to go run and get it in a bit, I will. Or should I go get it now? I don't know. Maybe I should get it now before we get started. Give me 1 second. Let me grab it. I am muted. My bad. Forgot to unmute the mic on the way back through. My fault. I was asked. I said, "Me too." Do you want to mod? Oh, well, yes. Normally, you guys don't have me on a Friday, but normally you do have me on Saturday and Sunday and Monday. And that you don't have this week. So I'm streaming today because now I'm not going to, after today, I'm not going to be back on until Tuesday. Mini vacation. Mini vacation. Just a weekend vacation. Just a quick weekend vacation. I may send some pictures out in my Discord of where I'm gonna be. I may or may not be at the game this weekend. Exciting.
It's insane.
So super exciting. I'm excited. I'm excited. CJ, thank you so much. CJ says PTO request denied. Apparently I will be here tomorrow. CJ says I'm not allowed to take the time off. Okay. CJ says I'm not allowed to take the time off. All right. My bad. Okay. It's been in the books for months. Okay. It's been in the books for months. I don't see like I'm trying to be a team player here, all right? God, I feel whitewashed in this light. I need to freaking adjust my camera. Yeah, no, I'll just be gone for a few days. I'll be back on Tuesdays when I come back after today. But I'm actually taking quite a bit of vacation time this month. So turn my contrast up a little bit. Or maybe down. There we go. Now I'm a little less whitewashed. I like that a little bit better. Yeah. I do have color. I didn't look like it in that camera angle. Goodness gracious. That looks a little better. I don't know why it looked so whitewashed. I have the worst time with these cameras. I have the worst time. Thank you so much, CJ, for the super chat. I really appreciate that. How do you guys like the new sign we got up here too? The new sticker we got up here. I'll put it this way. I don't know if it is 100% exactly what I want, but I know it is a hell of a lot better than what I had. This was actually made for me by Megan. So if you see Megan in the chat at some point, I don't think she's here right now, but if you see Megan in the chat later, make sure you throw out a big L in the chat for Megan. You like it, Alan? I'm good. I'm seeing a lot of I like it's. I'm seeing a lot of I like it's. I'm seeing a lot of I like it. I'm really cool with that. No, Corey, it's still L's in the chat for Megan. Okay, just we can't let her get her confidence up, like to. Hey, Laura. We can't let her get her head too big over there, okay? No. Can't do that, Corey. Can't do that. Megan knows I love her. Megan knows I love her. And that was very, very sweet of her to do that. Very, very sweet of her. That was very, very sweet of her to do that. All right, y'all. Well, we are here. We are ready to go to work, aren't we? Huh? See all of y'all in here. Not all of you guys are here. Some of you guys are here. Some people are still cheating on me. Okay? But that's okay. They'll show up later. So we're gonna get this thing started in just a moment. Laura, thank you so much for the $5 over on Cash App. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Laura says for a happy Friday, mijo. Thank you so much, Laura. Thank you so much. That's very, very sweet of you. Can we get W's in the chat for Laura for that $5 Cash App? I appreciate that. Ooh, excuse me. You had to search me to find out I was live. That's unfortunate. I can't say I'm surprised. I can't say I'm surprised, but I'm really sad that's the truth. Can't say I'm surprised. That sounds pretty standard to me, to be completely honest with you. Sounds pretty standard. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and open up these phone lines. Let's see. It might take a little bit. It might take a second or two to get things going, but that's okay. We can still open. Oh, or not. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
The YouTube thing?
This is the YouTube thing. How are you today?
I'm doing great.
Awesome. No, stand by. Hold on before you get going. All right. How old are you?
I'm 25.
Awesome. And do you still support Trump?
No. Well, kind of. So I am actually kind of like wanting to understand why you think people support Trump.
I know why people support Trump, sir, but this isn't a really question and answer thing for me. I'm asking you if you support Trump, and it doesn't sound like you do.
Well, no and yeah. Like I view my values more Republican, but I just don't agree with the way the Republican Party is going. And so I've wondered why everybody seems to support Trump, even though like I have many friends that are Republican and don't support this idea. So I'm trying to figure out why people are supporting him.
Well, you should go to ask your Republican friends, sir, and while you should go ask Republican media while they're still defending him. I mean, hell, there was freaking Epstein emails and freaking Republican media is still supporting him. And the reason why they're supporting him is because people enjoy that type of content. So really, that's a you and your Republican friends question. Okay. I'm on the side of things like, morality, at least from my individual standpoint. You guys, the ones that seem to be real cool with, sex trafficking and, and sexual assault and stuff like that. That's your side.
Huh. No. I feel like the bigger problem is, I think that, how do I want to put this, that Republican views are so opposed to Democratic views through like our personal core values that we can't support the Democratic Party moving forward.
Awesome. And what core value
I don't think voting for Trump is necessarily the right solution.
Yeah, but the Republican Party overwhelmingly voted for Trump, okay? Overwhelmingly, okay? So again, Donald Trump is adjudicated of sexually assaulting someone. He has 34 felonies. He's defrauded children's cancer charity. He cheated on his first wife with his second wife with his third wife with his fourth wife. Third wife with a porn star, which then he paid off while through falsifying business records, right? He sexualized a 10-year-old. He sexualized his own daughter, right? He's currently taking bribes for all sorts of shit from all sorts of countries that support terrorism and people, literally ex-terrorists. Right now. Okay, hold on, sir. Hold on. I'm not quite done with my question yet. Sorry. He's currently, with the Epstein emails, shown to have been very, very good friends with the most well-known child sex trafficker that's ever existed. Okay. So I would really, 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 really like to know how somehow that person somehow represents your core Christian values more than the left does.
So let me respond to that.
Yeah.
So I believe that it's not necessarily the voting for Trump is what I want, but I believe that voting democratically is definitely not what I want.
Yeah, and so, sir,
I don't want to lose.
Listen. You're not answering my question. Real quick.
Mm-hmm.
My question was, what on the left is so against your core values that everything I just said is better?
Yeah, I guess like if you take personal, I'm bad. Sorry, I just got my phone. If you take personal issues out of the equation, I just believe that I want to be able to have and own my guns. I want to have the right for that to not be affected, and any kind of talk about that I feel like is kind of like voiding honor amendment.
Yeah. So when Donald, hold on. Your core Christian value is your ability to own a gun. Can you please tell me where in the Bible that is?
No. I mean, like, I have core Christian values. I feel like this one is just something that, like,
no. But I didn't ask you about those other ones. Okay. You said your core Christian moral values means I can never vote for the left. I just gave you about hold on, sir. I bet you could answer the question better if you'd listen to it. Okay? I just gave you probably close to a dozen different examples of some very morally horrible things, right? All things that should go against your Christian values. I want to know what the left is doing, okay, that is going against your core Christian values so much that it overtakes what all those things that I mentioned about Donald Trump.
Yeah, I believe that, I believe in straight sex marriage. I believe that the whole propaganda of, like, trying to go gay, lesbian, whatever, I think is just becoming more and more problematic. So that's personal. I understand that's personal, but that is something that I don't want to hear about anymore on the news. It's ridiculous at this point. If you're gay, you can get married. Who gives a fuck?
Gotcha. So your moral stance of you don't think gay people should get married is somehow worse than child sex trafficking.
So I think your point of view is you morally don't like Trump. I can agree with that.
No, sir. My point of view is you cannot articulate how the left is morally worse.
Values.
No.
When he's doing things.
See, you're trying to tell me my stance, and that you're wrong.
Yeah, because you're trying to say everything that Trump's done you don't care about, but values and morals you do.
Nope. What I'm trying to ask you is how
everything you brought up is values and morals, and what I'm trying to say is
because you brought up morals. You said I can't vote for the left because of my Christian moral values. Oh, he's gone. Literally, his stance was, I can't vote for the left because of my Christian moral values. And then when I request him to tell me why his stance on his Christian moral values, he can't tell me. Guys, I'm just going to give you guys a little piece of advice. If you're going to say that you vote based off of your moral values, you should be able to articulate those moral values. Just thought I'd throw that out there. If your entire stance is based off of your moral values and you can't articulate those values, then I don't think they're very good values. I was trying to figure out what the heck was itching me so bad. Oh my goodness. It's a new shirt. The tag is still on it. Hello, how are you? Hello? All right, goodbye. Y'all, make sure you hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you still support Trump, the phone number is right above my head, or you can join the guest request box over on the one that allows you to do that. But besides that, please make sure you hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate you guys being here. I can't find, I swear I had scissors someplace. I was like, what is bothering me? And it's that tag just driving me crazy. Just driving me crazy. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, how old are you?
27.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
Absolutely.
Absolutely is a weird statement, but all right. Why is that?
Well, basically, all these things that they tried to throw him in jail for turned out to be a big sham. All you have to do is research it. The 34 convictions. The way this works is I would ask you how they turned a misdemeanor into a felony.
They didn't.
And then you'll say, oh, well, the statute of limitations, they had to extend that. And
Wrong.
Then, oh, it was in furtherance of another crime. But then you won't be able to tell me what that other crime is. And the reason you won't be able to tell me is because it's not in the court record.
This guy doesn't even need me here. He can just say both sides of the argument for himself. That's pretty cool. Why don't you go ahead?
I'm just doing what you normally do, but go ahead.
So you're a fan. You watch what I normally do? Well, thank you. I mean, I really appreciate you being a fan. That's pretty cool. You can just come on the microphone and say both of our arguments. Why don't you say both sides of the argument, and then you let me know when you get stumped on it, okay?
I'm done. Go ahead. Explain to me how they turned his misdemeanors into a felony.
They didn't.
Okay.
That's how.
So why don't you read about it and then tell everybody about it after you've educated yourself?
I've educated myself on it plenty.
Huh. But you have no answer.
No, that's just your question is faulty.
Oh, so they didn't take a misdemeanor, and it was past the statute of limitations, and they didn't take that misdemeanor, which was a campaign violation, similar to the campaign violation that Hillary Clinton committed, where she and the Democratic National Committee had to pay a fine to the Federal Election Committee because of the Russia hoax. You know, she paid for these documents, but in her ledger, she didn't put down that this was opposition research. So they dinged her for that. But funny thing, they didn't try to throw her in jail. They just gave her an $8,000 fine, which is really pretty much the same thing Trump did, was a falsification of records. But then you have to show intent, which they never did.
I'm sorry. Where was Hillary Clinton?
You have no way of winning.
Sir.
First of all, you cheated elections. You cheat on the media. You cheat when it comes to editing. You guys are just a party of cheaters and sore losers.
We cheat when it comes to editing. That's a funny one to talk about.
Yeah, editing. Did you hear about the BBC getting sued by Trump because they edited two sentences that were 45 minutes apart from each other? That's the type of stuff you guys do. And you,
Donald Trump just had his 90. Sir, Donald Trump just had it. Sir, be quiet. No.
That's your main problem. You have no curiosity. You'll never get the truth to anything because you don't even scratch it.
It's too early in my live to listen to you crash out. Hey. Hey. It's too early in the live to listen to you crash out. You're going to have to act like an adult, okay?
Just give me an answer, dude.
I can't get you an answer because every time I try to speak, you keep talking.
How did they do that? You don't know. You have
they
no clue,
didn't is the answer. I already answered
They got the orange man bad, and so that's all you cared about. But the rest of us are like, but that was unusual.
Would you like me to explain it to you, or do you just want to talk?
Go ahead and try. Give it your best shot.
Yeah, they didn't turn a misdemeanor into a felony. It just is a felony.
What's the felony?
Falsifying business records and further.
Sir, what was the misdemeanor?
Again, do you want me to explain, or do you want to just talk? Sir, do you want to let me explain, or do you want to just talk?
You're lying.
You don't know if I'm lying or not. You won't let me speak. In order for me to lie, sir, you have to allow me to speak.
I'm listening.
Yeah, okay, cool. So what I was saying was, okay, it's not a misdemeanor and then it becomes a felony, okay? It is a felony when you have falsifying business records in furtherance of another crime, okay?
What's the other crime?
Again, sir, you're going to have to let me finish
Well,
my
it's the
sentence.
other crime. This is the answer that none of you can answer. This is the
I
question.
can easily answer it. You just
No, you
literally
can't.
have to be quiet.
No, you can't.
I don't think you want, sir. I don't
explain
think you, sir. I don't think you
Hey,
want
look,
me to
if
answer
Alan
it,
Dershowitz can't
sir.
explain it,
I
how are
don't
you
think.
going to?
I don't think you want me
How are you
to.
going to do it?
I don't think you want me to.
Actually, I do want to hear you stutter over this. Go
No,
ahead.
because literally every single time I try to start saying it, you literally cut me off. So I don't think you want me to
Okay.
tell you.
I'm allergic to lies.
Oh, you're allergic to lies that haven't even been said.
Go ahead, explain it to us. How'd they take and explain how they took something that was past the statute of limitations and resurrected that.
It wasn't. You're
Okay,
mixing up
smart
two
guy.
different
Explain this all of
cases.
us. Straighten this all out. Tell
Yeah.
us all
The
this
statute of
Trump
limitations
before we
one, okay, that was a completely different case.
COVID.
Nope, that was a completely different case. That wasn't this one.
That was the 34 felonies, you dope.
No.
Yeah, it was.
Nope.
Yes, it was.
So
Look it
again,
up.
sir, I will for the
Look it
final
up right
time.
now. You don't know what you're talking about. Look it up. Look it up.
All right. Well, because there are people here that I'm sure would actually like to hear my answer, I'm just going to mute you. Okay. And so therefore no one can hear you since I'm tired of being interrupted to the point where I can never answer a question. All right. So if you want to act like a child, then I'll treat you like one. Okay. So what I was trying to say is falsifying business records in furtherance of another crime is just a felony. It's not a misdemeanor and then becomes a felony. It's just a felony. What the other crime is there doesn't have to be one, because when you're talking about in furtherance of another crime, it's just the attempt to commit that other crime. Whether you actually commit that other crime or not is not necessary, okay, in it being a felony. It just has to be
What's
proven
the
that you
other
were,
crime?
sir. You only has to be that he was attempting to commit another crime. Okay, there doesn't have to be another crime. In this case, it was campaign's finance law violations, right? Which would have been the other crime, and he was attempting to do that. So therefore, it was a lie. There was also actually a couple other crimes that they could have actually put it in for, right? But nope, it's a crime. Tax fraud is one of the crimes. Campaign finance laws was one of the crime. It could have been any of those crimes. But again, he doesn't have to commit the crime. Second of all, what you're talking about with the statute of limitations is actually the sexual assault as far as the civil case, okay, and that's with E. Jean Carroll, and that statute of limitations was extended, but not for Donald Trump. Actually, the statute of limitations was actually extended, okay, because they wanted to be able to actually prosecute the Catholic Church. And then they prosecuted the Catholic Church, and then Donald Trump got wrapped up in that. All right. So now I'll unmute you, and now you can speak, okay?
Because you said that she's a liar, even though we think she's lying, you called her a liar, so now you owe her $80-something million that he's never going to have to pay. You guys are so delusional. I can't believe you don't have enough curiosity just to scratch the surface and find out what the truth is. It doesn't mean you have to come around and be a Trump supporter, but it just means you don't have to be delusional your whole life like you are.
The 80
Why
million
do you wanna
wasn't
be
for the
delusional?
the 80 million wasn't for the sexual assault. It was actually for the defamation.
That's what I'm saying. The jury said, "Oh, you didn't rape her, but when you said she lied about you raping her, we're going to fine you $80 million." What?
Actually, the court specifically said that. Yeah, actually, the court specifically said that. Actually, the judge in his filing actually specifically said this qualifies under rape. Yeah, so absolutely. So now I'm going to try to unmute you again. Let's see if you can figure it out. Okay.
Believes these emails. It's like, really? Another round? Another impeachment? Another? If you guys had the goods on Donald Trump, you would have done it before when Kamala laugh her ass off Harris was making an ass out of the Democratic Party. I think really you just wanted Trump to be the president because look at the alternative. We had a President lobotomy in there who was up to his neck in money from the Chinese, which don't count on.
You're not
NPR to
doing
crack
too
that
well,
open.
are you,
Or
sir?
Frontline, the mainstream media
Are
is
you
never
actually
gonna touch
running
any
out
of
of
this.
breath from yapping so much? Are you literally
Kind of
like
enjoyable
trying
to
to
set you
talk
straight
like
this.
so
You're just
much?
clueless.
Are
I
you
really
literally
feel like
trying to talk so much that you're running out of breath? Are you trying to avoid an actual conversation with me to the extent that you can't even breathe anymore instead of actually having a conversation, sir? Because I have no problem. I have zero problem engaging any of the points that you're talking about, but you have not let me engage in a single one, like single point with any of them. Okay, sir? So here's what's going to happen, sir. I'm going to unmute you, okay? And I'll let you ask a question, okay? And if you don't let me answer that question, then I am going to assume at this point that you do not have the ability to engage in any type of adult or logical conversation, and I'm going to hang up and move on to somebody that can, okay? So we're going to see how this works, but you literally have one more chance, okay? Because
Okay.
it's too early in my life to be talking to a child.
Go ahead.
Go
smart
ahead
guy.
and ask your question.
Okay. I randomly, and I brought it up a minute ago, why did the FEC decline to charge Trump? Or because it was a violation. It was a campaign violation, which a violation is not a crime. Whatever. Let me ask you this. If Donald Trump wasn't running for president and all the other circumstances were the same, where he paid off a porn star to keep her mouth shut, he paid his attorney who paid the porn
Insane.
star, but he wasn't running for any sort of elected office, would it have been a crime what he did then?
Yes.
No, it wouldn't.
Yes, it would have been.
How could it be? Because you told me that they went after him because of the campaign violation.
I said that was one of the reasons that
No,
they went
that is
after
the
him.
reason. You
Actually,
said
that's
what-
not why
I
they
asked you
got
what
after
the
him.
other-
That
I
was
said,
just
what
the
was
other
other
crime.
crime, and that's what you
I
said.
said tax fraud was also
I
one
asked
of
you
them.
what the other crime was,
And
it
I
wasn't
answered.
tax, because these the ledger was filled out in 2016. The taxes wouldn't even be turned in until 2017. So you can't use this tax ledger bullshit. I asked you what the other crime was. You said it was a campaign violation, and now you're telling me
Sir,
something totally
again,
different.
sir, I've answered this question like literally 5 times. And I
Well, it's
swear
hard to
if you would
answer when you're
just
lying through your
if you
teeth.
would just be quiet, you probably might accidentally learn something. But we
What's
wouldn't
the
want
other
that, would
crime,
you?
Dude? What was the other crime?
I'm trying to answer the question. Be quiet. Thank you. Okay. Again, for the literal 5th time in this conversation, okay, the other crime does not have to be committed. You just have to be falsifying the business records, attempting to commit that crime. Okay? So if you're trying to hide finance money, even if you're not successful, so therefore the crime doesn't happen, if you were just trying to, it's still a felony. If you're
And for a minute ago,
trying
you
to
said,
commit
"In
tax
furtherance
fraud,"
of an-"
you're muted now. If you're even trying to commit tax fraud, that is what the furtherance of the other crime is, all right, sir? But in since you wouldn't let me finish the sentence, I hope you have a wonderful day. And I really don't hope you don't have a heart attack, okay? No one can hear you, okay? Hope you have a wonderful day, okay? All right, cool. That dude I think he has some issues or something. You always know when people really truthfully do not want to actually like engage in a conversation because they know they're wrong. When people like don't allow you to even speak somewhere in there. Right? They feel like if they just keep talking, then maybe, all right, you'll never have to answer, you'll never, respond, and so they can never be wrong. Or they may never learn something. It's wild. Hello, how are you?
Shut your bitch ass up, musty, crusty, dusty, crispy, black roach, monkey ass up.
All right. You're all right there? All right. Well, goodbye. Oh, people are on one today. Mindspeak, thank you so much for the $5. Says this color is like when you close the door and you open it again. There's still Karen barking. Thank you so much, Mindspeak. I appreciate that. Also, Luis, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Said, to make it more embarrassing for this MAGA caller, you should present the facts to them in the screen. Oh, I could put it up on the screen. And also show like the thousands of other people that have been convicted under this law because it's been long-standing law in actually a lot of states. Funny enough, not even just that one. But thank you so much, Luis. I appreciate that. Phone lines are back open if we can get somebody in here that, would like to attempt to have a better conversation. Oh, I guess we'll do it right now. Thank you so much, Luis. I appreciate that. Hello, how are you?
Hello?
Hi, how are you? Hello? Are you there, bud? I guess not. Maybe he had a heart attack. Maybe he had a heart attack. That's okay. Uh-oh. Hello.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi. So I wanna ask you something.
All right.
Why do you support the Democratic Party?
I'm not a
Bill.
Democrat.
What are you?
I'm Paulie. How are you?
Okay, I understand that. You're saying why do I still support Donald Trump? Why don't you?
Because I don't support bad presidents.
Why is he a bad president?
Because he does nothing to really help anybody but the richest people in the United States. On top of that, he breaks plenty of laws, goes against the Constitution, makes us less secure as a nation, all of those sorts of things.
You're saying he does less to secure the nation. So let me ask you this.
Sure.
And you said he's a bad president. So the whole entire government shutdown. Let me ask you this:
Mhm.
Do you blame Trump or do you blame the Democratic Party?
I blame both of them.
Why is that?
Well, because the Democrats stopped it from the CR passing, but the Republicans could have passed that CR whenever they wanted to without the Democrats' help.
How's that?
By doing the nuclear option and just bypassing the filibuster for that bill, which they've done multiple times already this year.
Okay, so what you're saying is that the Democratic Party could have opened it up by just voting it in, and then just
And I'm
whatever they had
also
going
saying,
on.
and I'm also saying that the Republican Party could have opened it up just by voting it in.
How's that when they needed a 60 Senate vote? When
They didn't. They could just do the nuclear option, which bypasses the filibuster for this bill, which they've already used multiple times this year in order to confirm Donald Trump's nominations into his cabinet. Okay. They've bypassed the filibuster for certain bills, and they easily could have done that again this time. Or they could have gotten rid of the filibuster just completely. Donald Trump actually specifically called for the Republicans to completely abolish the filibuster.
and I agree with that because I know at the end of the day, when the Democratic Party, when they do get power, they're going to do it either way. So I do agree with that.
Yeah, so the
let me
Democratic
ask you
Party
this.
so the Democratic Party who literally was just in power and could have done that, didn't. But
Right.
now, the next time they're in power, they'll do that. Like literally the Democratic Party, who Obama had a supermajority, could have literally pretty much passed whatever he wanted, could have done that and didn't. But the second that they get back in office, they're definitely going to do it, right?
So let me ask you this. Do you support anything that don't, you said you're not a Democrat, so are you like a moderate?
Absolutely not.
Then who do you support?
I support myself and I support this country.
Okay, then in this country, what do you support? Do you support America First, or do you support what the left is more leaning towards?
I don't know how you're talking about the left. Donald Trump is not America First at all.
How's that?
Donald Trump literally allowed our government to get shut down, and Donald Trump specifically said that any government shutdown, okay, is just weakness of the president. And while he was doing that, he was literally giving our money to Argentina.
Okay, and what about all the money that the Democratic Party was giving towards transgenders, towards
sir. I'm going to need you to focus here, okay? I didn't say anything about Democrats in my statement. You said, do you support America First? As insinuating that Donald Trump is America First, okay? Donald Trump is not America First, okay? He's not America First. He actually even specifically just said, right? Like, literally, he was on a talk show and they were like, hey, we have these, we need these skilled workers. We need to, do something about getting American skilled workers in there. And he talked about bringing over literally hundreds of thousands of immigrants from China to fill skilled worker jobs in the United States. Okay.
I understand what you're saying, and I don't agree with him on that. I think what he should be doing is probably throwing out there for programs for younger Americans to get motivated to do those type of works. So I do agree with you on that. I'm not saying you're wrong about that.
So what is he doing that's America First?
Well, I don't know. Let's see. He's deporting. He's doing everything that he did campaign to want, that he said he was going to do.
He said he was going to
Well, he's
lower
supporting
grocery
everybody.
prices. Grocery prices are not down. He said he was going to lower gas prices. Gas prices just started to go down for the winter, but they've been up the entire time he's been president. He said he was going to end the war in Ukraine and Russia. That hasn't happened whatsoever. He said he was going to repeal the ACA and replace it. That hasn't even close to happen. Donald Trump has done almost nothing except for stop legal migration from the southern border, while at the same time allowing for legal migration from other countries and putting nothing actually in place to help truly secure our southern border and create long-lasting immigration policy.
Okay, but he's only been in office for what? I want to say what 9 months, 10 months.
Sure,
And-
Donald. He's the one who put himself on a time frame, not me.
Okay, but you really thought in your heart of hearts that he was going to do it on the first day. Like, come on, bro.
Sir,
Common sense is going to
he's
say
not gonna-
that
he's not gonna do it
take
at
a while
all.
to do so.
He's not going to do it at all. Okay,
And you got to
said-
remember that he inherent the economy whatever for the last 4 years, that he got to work that out within whatever Biden's administration did.
Yeah. So the Wall
It's not
Street
going to be
Journal.
like some overnight type process.
Yeah. So first of all, again, I didn't put him on a timeline. Donald Trump put him on a timeline, and we're talking about the things that he ran on. He ran on fixing these things day one. I'm not putting that timeline on him. Okay. He put that on himself. All right. And since he put that timeline on himself, when he breaks that timeline, that means he didn't accomplish what he was running on. Okay. Second of all right, if you look at the economic numbers almost across the board, all right, Donald Trump's economy is worse than it was when he took office from Biden. We've had job loss numbers for the first time in 4 years. We have the worst unemployment rate that we've had in 4 years. We've had like almost 1 million jobs lost just this year, including 100,000 jobs just in October. All right. Grocery prices are more expensive. Like I said, gas prices are just slightly starting to come down for the winter. But as far as the economy goes, the economy is worse now than it was when he took office. All right. So I don't understand how you're putting this together saying Donald Trump is going to make it better. He made it worse already.
How is that? He
just
inherited what Joe Biden just did, bro. So the whole fact is that nobody's giving the man credit for what he did, and nobody's giving him time for him for his presidency to work out.
Okay,
Just like they did in the first term.
So again, sir, we saw his whole first term, and I am more than happy to give
Insane.
Donald Trump credit for the things that he did in his first term. It wasn't much. It's a really short list, okay, of things that he actually accomplished in his first term, right? And I'm more than happy to give Donald Trump credit for the things he's done in this term, all right, whether they're good or bad, okay? And so far, they've been real bad. Okay. And I don't see any freaking stop to that. Even Donald Trump is realizing, okay, even currently, that his own economic policies are failing. It's a shame it took a bunch of Epstein emails to get him to actually pay attention. Right. But like literally, he's right now relieving all these tariffs that have made your grocery prices like even more expensive when he came in office. He just announced today that he's going to start lowering those tariffs to try to relieve the American consumer. So he's literally admitting that he made your prices higher. He made your cost of living worse.
I'm sorry to say, but the cost of living was already worse before he got in the office. So I don't know what you're saying
sir.
on that point.
No,
and I don't understand. Where are you getting your info from?
From Donald Trump's
It's
government.
really I don't know. I listen to politics all day, so I don't understand what you're saying. I know that.
I assume
know
it's a
from
lot of
common
Fox
sense
News
person-
then.
No, I listen to a lot of YouTube. I listen to a little bit of both on both ends, the left and the right.
You
And,
probably don't.
Yeah, I do.
You probably don't. Because these numbers are not hard to find. First of all, they're public documented. Second of all, they're put on out by the people who literally do this under the Trump administration, right? And third of all, you can't say that they were already worse before he took office, okay? Because you don't get to give, like, we can relate directly the policies that Donald Trump puts in to the negative side effects of those policies, right? I'm not giving Donald Trump credit for policies that Biden put in or negatives that he did. Hell, when Donald Trump took office, the Wall Street Journal, which is a right-leaning publication, right, said that Joe Biden was giving Donald Trump an economy that was the envy of the world.
All right, can I ask you one thing?
Seems like you've asked me one thing about 17 times, but sure, why not?
Do you believe a man could be a woman?
Do I believe in what?
A man could be a woman?
What does that have to do with what we're talking about?
I'm just asking. Do you believe that?
I believe that we should leave trans people alone to live their lives, and I'm not going to be concerned about them living their lives.
Okay, but answer my question.
That
Can a
was
man be
the
a
answer
woman?
to my. That was the answer to your question.
No, that's not an answer. That's just a
No,
little,
that's not
what
your
you said.
answer. That's not the answer, sir.
That's your
No,
statement.
no, that's not the
Can
answer.
can a biological man become
Sir.
a woman?
Sir, that's not the answer that you like. That is the answer, okay? But that's not the answer that you like.
From an objective truth, can a man be a woman?
True. It can. Yes, if you consider women as the fact that it's a social construct, then anybody can become a woman, and not every woman has to conform to the
gosh,
social
bro.
construct of that. But sir, that's
Oh my
just sir,
gosh.
sir. But that's sir. But that has nothing to do with
Bro,
sir.
objective
I-
truth, can
sir.
a man be a woman?
Sir,
All right.
sir, I understand that you just got absolutely smoked on the economy, and you're trying to deflect. Okay.
No, I'm not trying to deflect.
No,
I'm just
you-
trying
no,
to
no,
ask
shh,
you a simple question.
Shh, shh.
I already know, bro. I've lived through the last five years since
Are-
COVID, since
sir,
Biden took in, bro.
are you
So,
ready to be
you're-
quiet?
You're not trying to brainwash.
I'm not trying
Go
to
ahead,
brainwash
talk.
you. I'm trying to get you to be quiet. Okay.
Go ahead.
Understanding gender as a
I've
cultural.
been respectful to you, bro.
You have not.
So don't,
You have
I
not.
have. I've been
All right.
quiet. I've let you talk.
Well, you were until you completely deflected, pivoted from the conversation, and moved the goalpost because you were getting smoked. And so now you're trying to demonize trans people, which is what the right does.
I'm not
Okay?
demonizing nobody,
Sir,
brother.
I'm again.
I'm not left
remember,
or
remember
right,
how you
bro.
remember how you were talking
just
about
with
being
common sense.
respectful. Remember how you were talking about being respectful.
Go ahead, sir.
That's the third time I've been the last 3 sentences you've cut me off. Okay, so again, understanding gender as a social construct actually takes some critical thinking. Okay, and so I don't expect everybody to be able to critically think. Okay, like yourself, about gender being a social construct. Okay, all I'm saying is it's a lot easier for me to just explain it to you like this. Okay, I don't think that people want to that you want the government or other people around your life going in your bedroom and telling you how to dress or how to fuck or how you should raise your children or any of that stuff. Okay. And I personally don't want people doing that to me either. Okay. So when it comes to trans people, I am going to just go ahead and allow trans people to live their lives. Okay. And not waste my time freaking arguing whether we should make that a political stance or not. Okay. And again, I understand that the right has an obsession with trans people. All right. And that's why you guys keep bringing them up in every single conversation. You guys mention them consistently and constantly. Donald Trump spent more money, all right, advertising about trans people in his last campaign than any other issue. That could have existed. Not the economy, not how he's going to help everyday Americans, not how he's going to secure America, not how he's going to do any of these things. He spent more money trying to make smear ads about trans people. And I think that that's very sad. Okay. It's very similar to what the right did to gay people 2 decades ago, 3 decades ago. Right. So I have no will to sit there and make people's life choices like that aren't hurting anybody else. All right, a political stance. And I'm just very sorry for you that you do.
You just said that Trump isn't doing anything. Like, what is he not doing? That's what I'm trying to understand from your point of view. What is he not doing? How is he not putting America first?
I've already explained multiple instances. Would you like me to repeat those or give you different ones?
No, I would like for you to give me an objective truth of what you're trying to say.
All right. U.S. government was shut down. He should have been negotiating to try to get the government reopened. He said, I am not negotiating. I will not make any compromises. I will not be bipartisan. Then he specifically took funds that went to poor people's food in this country, right? That fed children, all right? Funds that were specifically designated in order to go to that, right? And stopped that funding from getting there. And then when he was overruled in court and it went to go feed people, Donald Trump challenged that in court to try to make sure that those Americans didn't eat. How is that America first?
How is that when the Democrats shut the government down?
Sir, we had
we all know that. Let me talk, sir.
But I'm not talking about the government shutdown.
When the ACA and the Obamacare was created from the Democrats. So how's that benefiting us when common sense will say that the healthcare crisis is because of the left and the Democrat. Explain that to me.
Sir, the SNAP benefits I'm talking about were there
Okay.
in case the government shut down. So after the government shut down, there was still money to feed people, and Donald Trump stopped that money. That had nothing to do with Congress. That had nothing to do with a singular Democrat, okay? That was completely, solely Donald Trump that stopped that.
Okay, but it could have, if the Democrats didn't shut the government down, it could have all went as it should have went.
And
Why
again,
did they
if
shut the government down?
Republicans had
Explain
just,
that.
sir, and again, Republicans could have at any point reopened the government without a singular Democratic vote. We've already gone through this part of the conversation. Why am I repeating myself?
Because you're not answering the question, really. You're just going based off a narrative.
You asked me this. Here, I'll tell you the whole conversation we had earlier. You said, who do you blame for the government shutdown? And I said both. And you said, explain. I explained that the Democrats stopped the CR because the Republicans needed 60 votes in order to pass a CR under normal rules. So they stopped it that way in order to chase ACA subsidies, right? And then also the Republicans could have used the nuclear option in order to pass that bill without a singular Democratic vote. So either side could have chosen to reopen the government at any point in time. Okay? Either side could have. But regardless of any of that, there was contingency funds in order to feed people. Donald Trump stopped those funds from reaching the mouths of people. Regardless of which side of Congress could have opened up the government, regardless of which side, how is it America first for Donald Trump to make sure that Americans can't eat?
No, I have not checked out. But anyways, bro. Anyways, you're just a left-wing propaganda. That's all you are.
It was a pretty simple question, sir. How is that America first?
Because he's putting American first, bro.
Gotcha, sir. It takes a whole lot of just indoctrination and simping to literally just be explained how he's starving American citizens, and you're like,
insane.
he's America
Bro,
first.
the American people would not be starving if they didn't shut the damn government down. That's the whole point of it.
They didn't
And
have
yes,
to be
it needed
starving
a 60
regardless.
vote when there's 53 52 Republicans in the Senate, and then and all the other Democrats in the Senate voted nay, and then the 8 common sense of the Democratic Party said, sure, open up the government, because not one, they were starving Americans. They were actually, let's even put it this way, there's 1.2 million federal workers that were not getting paid. So they had to suffer in the Congress, and I'm not saying on both ends they should not be getting paid, but I know that RFK was saying, he put out a bill saying the government should not get paid during the shutdown.
Sir,
Go ahead.
I've already explained this to you. Also, Donald Trump singularly, okay, tried to make sure that the federal workers that were furloughed during the shutdown never got a single dollar of back pay. It literally had to be in the agreement that the Democrats reopened the government on to make sure that he paid those federal workers, because Donald Trump didn't want to pay the American federal government workers, okay, the back pay for the furlough, okay? But again, sir, I've already explained to you multiple times how this works, how the Republicans could have done it, and how Donald Trump was starving people. If you just keep repeating yourself, and it doesn't seem like either A, you have the will to listen, or B, that you have the capacity. Ooh, excuse me, sorry.
I have both, brother.
Well, apparently not, because again, I've already repeated this like 3 times, and you still keep going back to the same things that you were saying before. So either A, you don't have the capacity to understand what I'm saying, or B, you're being willfully ignorant.
Do you have any other callers coming up?
I'm sure I would if I opened up the phone lines.
All right, brother, go ahead.
All
I
right.
want to hear what else.
All right.
It's good talking to you, though.
I wish I could say the same. All right. We're going to hit a super chat or two, and then we're going to go right back and open up these phone lines. I really appreciate that. Mindspeak, this was from earlier, said, when someone say believe on my own values, it will find himself nor right or left. Absolutely. 100%. And Luis, thank you so much for the 10 gifted memberships. Can we get big W's in the chat for the 10 gifted from Luis? I must have missed that earlier. I'm so sorry. I really appreciate that, Luis. Thank you so much. Puerto Rico in the house. And Frank said, I must be getting old and cranky because these callers are really annoying tonight. Usually I brush them off, but as challenged. Yeah, they're a little off today. Yo, make sure you hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We do this pretty much every single day, so I really, really appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, they're definitely on one on Fridays today for whatever reason. Turtle, thank you so much for the goat. Francesca, thank you so much for the $5. Said, friends don't let friends dial drunk, pivot pie, and age denial wine. Anyone fresh pretzels in the oven. Oh, that's a funny one. All right, phone lines are back open. Let's keep this thing going. That was a really funny one. I appreciate that. Y'all, if you'd like support, I do have super chats open. I have all my pay links in my bio. They're all at Polypolitics. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. If you'd like support that way, I do have my live gift goal going on. I have all the fun stuff if you'd like to support the live. So I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Hello, how are you? Okay, goodbye. Hello, how are you? Hello? Hello? All right. Somebody got a little confused. I don't know what's going on with that, but hey, we'll get there. Jada, thank you so much for the goat again. I appreciate that. Mindspeak said, comments will understand that a tariff doesn't raise taxes but increase price on products now. Now, where's America first? I'm still waiting for Donald Trump to get to the America first thing. Sounds like he's a lot of Argentina first. Quite a bit of Middle East first. A little bit of Venezuela first. Maybe some Nigeria first. Seems like he has a lot of firsts, but ooh. What?
G L K P T.
What the fuck is this? Hello?
G L K P T.
This is weird.
O B M A H.
I don't know what's going on. This is so weird. Hello, how are you? I don't know. That was some like weird like TikTok verification thing. I don't know. It was like, type what you hear. I don't know what was going on with that. That was very strange. Hello, how are you? Hello? Oh, this is being very weird. I think we'll have to sooner or later get to a call with somebody who's actually, you know, here. Being quite strange. That's okay. I'm sure we'll get there in a second. Very, very strange for a Friday night. Hello, how are you?
Hey, how we doing, pal?
I'm doing great. How old are you?
Good, good. This is Rob from Los Angeles.
Hi, Rob from what are you wearing, Rob from Los Angeles?
What am I what?
What are you wearing, Rob from Los Angeles? I don't know.
What am I wearing, or what do I want to talk about?
Oh my goodness. How old are you?
I'm probably older than you, but I'm just calling to let you know that that's a good thing when you talk about, and I like your views, but
thank you,
I'm
man.
an immigrant myself. I'm an immigrant myself, mother, you know, everybody. But the last caller was cuckoo, period. And a lot of these callers are just out here not knowing. And one of the things I want to talk about too is
hey, bro. Sounds like
no.
you're on my side, and I'm not looking to talk to anybody on my side right now. I'm just trying to talk to Trump supporters, but I really appreciate it. All right.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely, man. Have a
much
good one.
love,
Okay.
much love, and take care, and continue doing your work, man.
All right. Thanks a lot, man. Have a good one. All right. We'll just get to open up these phone lines, keep this thing going. I'm sure we'll get some people in here eventually. Hello, how are you? Hello?
How about you quit politics and get a job?
Dude, aren't you supposed to be playing with Legos someplace? Where are your parents? Is your mom hot? Yo, call back and tell me if your mom's hot. Hello, how are you?
Good, yourself?
I'm doing great. How old are you?
50.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
Yeah, I do.
And why would you do that?
I support the administration in regards to its enforcement of removing undocumented individuals.
Okay. And why is that?
It's insane.
Well, specifically because in my line of work, I didn't know that this was happening in my line of work, but it seems to have been the case. My line of work is in the transportation industry, livery services, like a taxi driver. And as of probably about 10 years ago, I used to make decent money to where I didn't have to rely on social benefits or anything of the sort. But ever since the advent of the transportation network companies and their creative lobbying for specific laws to make it possible for them to operate, the undocumented workers have somehow become their resource for drivers.
Gotcha, sir. So you're a taxi driver that's mad at undocumented immigrants for Uber.
Yes. I'm sorry, say that again?
Like you're a taxi driver who's mad at undocumented immigrants for Uber. I'm gonna go and let you know that you're not mad at undocumented immigrants. You're mad at capitalism.
Okay, I would agree. Yes, you're correct. But in regards to my supporting of the Trump administration and their push to remove undocumented individuals, that aspect of it makes it much more difficult for these transportation network companies to operate effectively. And it's just a matter of time before the companies no longer have the labor force necessary to continue operating.
Well, see, here's the problem with that, sir, is Donald Trump is just, even if he was to, like, give this giant, like, first of all, in most states, undocumented immigrants can't get driver's licenses, and some of them they can, depending on their, on their type of undocumented status, right? Or there's certain types that they can get some type of driver's license or ID, right? The majority of them can't. In the majority of states, they can't get driver's license. If you can't get a driver's license, you can't get a car, then you can't drive for Uber. So that's really not stopping much of anything. Second of all, okay, Donald Trump is providing them with an entire other labor force because over 1 million jobs have been cut by companies and the government over the last year since Donald Trump has been president, including 100,000 jobs lost just in October, right? So now we're having a whole bunch of people that need work now. And a lot of people are going to things like DoorDash, to Instacart, to Uber, right? So even if at the rate that he's freaking, having people lose their jobs and the rate that he's undocumented immigrants, you're much, 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 much more likely to have your Uber job just taken by another American citizen.
No, well, yeah, you're right. As far as the livery service and taxi service, the likelihood that other Americans will jump on board using the Uber and Lyft type of technology is slim to none in the market that I live in, because the rates are just terrible. And the only people that are willing to do that are the undocumented workers.
That's very incorrect, sir. For you guys that don't know my history, hell, I used to drive. You know what I'm saying? I did that, a long time ago. And I know plenty of my friends that are in the middle class that are just trying to make ends meet. People that actually have full-time jobs that are just trying to, make extra cash by making money doing Uber or Instacart and stuff like that. Actually, I was just specifically talking to a friend of mine who was actually a furloughed government worker, right? Who was asking me about, driving Uber or driving, for like, DoorDash and stuff like that, and how that works in order for them to help ends meet. But I know everything from, most of the people that I know that drive for Uber, drive all that stuff, usually have full-time jobs.
Well, if there's people out there that are doing it as a supplement to their income, then it makes sense, and it probably works out. But in the market that I'm in, a lot of people were driving, and I didn't know this before. I just thought they were ordinary, everyday people, and it was just a new form of competition. But what happened in this market is, I guess ICE made their appearance, and they just used as I understood it, they just used requesting a couple of Uber rides, and they caught a couple of I guess undocumented workers that way. And then the next day after that information was spreading around, there's no Uber or Lyft, or there's very few Uber and Lyft drivers available for people, which I didn't have a problem with. I got excited by that because I was like, suddenly, oh, okay, there's all kinds of demand for me now as a taxi driver.
Yeah, so two things on that. One, I just looked it up because I was curious, right? 70% of people who drive for Uber do it as a second job, as supplemental income. Well, 69% to be exact. 69% of people then that do this do it as supplemental income. All right, so that's not true at all, right? Again, the majority of people are doing it as supplemental. And second of all, I looked up the requirements to drive for Uber. And it does require that you both either A, or are a U.S. citizen, or B, that you have a work permit, right? Neither which are undocumented immigrants. So no undocumented immigrants were taking your jobs. Yep. ICE probably just showed up, and a bunch of people that were just Latino were afraid to leave the house to go do anything because they're afraid of getting, swept up by ICE in some type of illegal raid and then thrown in detention for days, even though they had a legal right to be here, which is happening at a massive rate all the way across this country.
Okay, you explained that the transportation network companies require what kind of information again?
Yeah, you either have to have a work permit or be a U.S. citizen.
Real quick, though.
Yeah, you have to be either a U.S. You have to be either a U.S. citizen or have a work permit.
Okay.
All right. Which, if you have a work permit, you are documented. You're not an undocumented immigrant. You're here legally. So again, ICE isn't helping you get more jobs. Okay, it's not doing that. And it's, again, except for the fact that again they're just ripping anybody who looks Latino off the street and putting them in detention. So I assume that probably gets people off the streets. So
indirect effect.
Yeah, in the most horrible possible way. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I can't really. If you looked up the information, I really can't because I'm not. I don't know. I'm not.
They took our jobs argument is like way old and outdated. Okay, undocumented immigrants actually boost our economy. Undocumented immigrants and other immigrants, but including undocumented immigrants, boost our economy. They actually help create jobs for American citizens, right? So they do a lot of those things, and they help to keep to keep our economy going. So this whole they took our jobs thing is it's just funny how South Park did that 20 years ago or whatever, and it's still somehow a joke. It's just not real. It's just not real.
I'm not saying that I validated anything. I'm just saying what I've experienced, and I'm assuming that what happened recently is what may have caused that. I don't know why there's so few Uber and Lyft drivers now. And just for you did say that it's capitalism, and I understand that. But just so you know, as an example, 10 years ago, I used to average in revenues about $120,000. after Uber and Lyft introduced itself into this market, my earnings pretty much went down. My revenues went down to about 40,000, and pretty much of that is, 50% of that is probably taxable income.
Well, I'm
where-
again, sir. I'm only slightly sorry that taxi drivers went away. I lived in Vegas for a long time. There was plenty of taxi drivers. They were usually really creepy and smelled bad. And to be completely honest with you, I have a good feeling that most of the people that were actually driving my taxis were not documented immigrants, okay, while I was working there. So I think that problem still existed 10, 15 years ago. All right, that's all it is. There's just, again, more competition on the market, which is how capitalism works. Because you put more competition on the market, then, rates go down for everybody. On top of the fact that it's just more logical for me to be able to be, you put a tracking on the car, know exactly who's picking me up and make sure they had some type of check against them instead of just some random person that could be just taking me anywhere. So, and I can rate them and say that their car smells or that it smells like, whatever. So it's a lot more benefits to that. But yeah, it's going to pretty much put taxis out of business. But again, capitalism took your job. Just like capitalism takes every job, not undocumented immigrants, all right? But I'm going to move on to the next caller, so I hope you have a wonderful day, okay?
All righty, you too.
All right, bye. Yeah, just mad at the wrong people. Louise said, hit him with the Epstein in the new email to see them doing the cockroach dance. Oh, yeah. You notice how none of them have brought that up recently, huh? Thank you so much, Louise. I appreciate you. Y'all make sure you hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I appreciate you. Hello, how are you? Oh, sorry. Hold on real quick. Hello, are you there?
Yes.
Oh my God. You're like 10. Sharon, thank you so much for the $60 over on PayPal. I appreciate that so much. Said, enjoy your mini vacation. You deserve a break. I really, really appreciate that, Sharon. Thank you so much for that. I do deserve a break. I do deserve that. So thank you so much. Not this. I meant the break. I appreciate it. Thank you for helping me fund my mini vacation. I really appreciate that. Love you so much. W's the chat for Sharon for the huge $60 over on PayPal. I really appreciate that. Hello, how are you?
Hey, what's up?
Hi, how old are you?
About 25.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
Not really, no. Did you see what's going on with like the Bill Clinton thing? Did you see that?
I did, but I'm looking for Trump supporters.
I mean, I did. I was a Trump supporter. Like, I did vote for him. Like, but I'm starting to lose.
You saw the freaking, the what he was pulling a Monica over there with Bill Clinton, and now you're off the train.
Well,
Donica Lewinsky is wild, dude. Donica Lewinsky is wild. Holy shit!
Like,
sorry, someone just put that in my chat, and I was not ready.
I don't know what the truth is behind that. I hope it's not true, because everything's coming out is starting to be crazy. The fact, ever since that Epstein report, the debacle came out, I completely lost all hope in him, and just completely lost all my support in him. Like, I don't know. I fell for it like an idiot, I guess. But
does this mean? Hold on. Does this mean that? It's crazy how everything is a projection. Does this mean that Donald Trump literally, like all the way to the top? You know what I'm saying? Was he really freaking giving favors to presidents to get all the way to the top? Like the same thing he blamed Kamala for? Like Donald Trump was actually doing it? Wow.
I don't know about that. I think he's more compromised because of his friendship with.
He slept his way to the presidency. That's the only way to. That's the only way to think about it.
I don't know if that's entirely true. I mean, he did own a lot of properties. He was a billionaire. He had a lot of,
How did he become a billionaire? It's probably from different laws and stuff that were passed under the Clinton administration to allow him.
Yeah.
Okay. Based off of him giving some under the desk favors for favors. You know what I'm saying? We both know Clinton wasn't above that, so.
It's all disgusting, honestly, and truthfully.
Hey,
I'm still
that was the guy
conservative,
you voted for, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but I'm still more conservative than the other side, Kamala, and I can never vote for that like Democratic side. I don't think, but I don't think I'll ever
Yes,
vote for someone who's
the horrific
under the
people
Trump
that
side.
want to have people fed and housed and have health care. Horrific. The horrific lefties.
Well, I mean, all that's like great if we had like a system that's possible for it. Like I do agree with like the European way of doing it, but the issue is Europe, like Denmark. How many people is in Denmark? I don't know the population, but it's under probably 15 million.
Why do you think that's a good argument?
I don't think it's a good argument. I'm just saying I don't think it's possible with I would love to stop giving money to Israel and giving money to Ukraine and
China?
use that to. Well, I don't know. I don't know China's healthcare system at all.
Yeah, they have universal healthcare. Yeah, and they have, I believe, more people than we do. India also has universal healthcare, and they definitely have more people than we do.
Yeah, I don't know how they're. I mean, obviously we caused the big issue with our doctors get paid an insane amount. I doubt the doctors in other countries do get paid a lot, not that they don't get paid a lot, but they don't get paid, the hundreds of thousands to even millions of dollars that they get.
They do
in America.
Well, I don't know about millions, but I think in order to be a doctor, you have to be very tenured or to be working in like some type of crazy plastic surgery. And again, the idea is not to get rid of all private doctors; it's to give a baseline level of medical care. Right? There's still private doctors in other countries also.
Yeah.
Yeah, the difference is instead of our money getting filtered through like 18 different insurance companies before it pays doctors, we just pay the doctors directly, and then they can still make exactly how much money they make right now, and we still save money.
Yeah, I do think insurance is like the biggest scam. I mean, every insurance, like car insurance, health, like maybe not.
No, you're stopping it. You can never vote for us horrible lefties. What are you talking about? You need capitalism to reign free. You need United Healthcare to keep denying cancer, children with cancer nausea medication, so that your right wing, capitalist agenda can continue to work.
No, but I'm more like I'm more feeling like the inflation is caused by a lot of the immigration and illegal immigration coming to this country, because when you bring up a lot of people over, it causes like a housing crisis. Like, how are you going to house all the people that you keep bringing over, people that are coming over the border illegally, and people that are being brought through immigration?
We were in a housing crisis for like 20 years.
We've been in one, yeah, but we've had immigration. Like, we've been bringing over a lot of. Even Trump wants to bring over H-1Bs and, Chinese, Chinese rich kids to keep our education system, our colleges, make them not go bankrupt, basically, which is so stupid. If they can't afford, like, these colleges are building like bell towers and stupid, whatever. I don't want to get into college.
Sir,
anyway.
we could get rid of every single legal and undocumented immigrant in this country, and we would still be in a housing crisis. Okay, that wouldn't change anything. All right. The reason why that is because we have as a large capitalist countries big right wingers that you guys support, buying up large swaths of homes, of single family homes, and then not selling them until the price goes up, creating a false inflation amongst those houses. Okay, creating a shortage that doesn't need to exist. That mixed with the idea that we can't build houses at the same rate that we used to because of different, things like Donald Trump's tariffs, which are stopping, us from getting lumber from places like Canada, from him getting rid of, immigrants who are literally, dominate the construction industry, which are the people that build those houses, right? There's about 1,000 different reasons why we have a housing crisis. Not 1,000. There's probably a good dozen, right? And not a singular one of them is an undocumented immigrant. Okay, that's what's called scapegoating. Okay,
I think if you lowered the supply of people though, and there's less people, then obviously it'd be a lot cheaper to own a house. I mean, obviously, I don't agree with like BlackRock and all these big companies that are just buying up houses and just I just think that's disgusting.
Sure. Can you just please explain to me how one singular undocumented immigrant with no papers is buying a house in the United States?
No, they're not buying houses. They're just they're renting. Like, in New York City, they're able to get like affordable housing, and they're able to rent, which is causing less Americans able to.
Not true.
Basically,
New York City
rent in that
documented immigrants, like asylum seekers, are getting affordable housing for a temporary amount of time while they find something and while their papers are being processed. Undocumented. Have you ever rented a place?
I have, but not in New York City, no.
No, like anywhere. Like I've rented a lot of places in a lot of cities in a lot of different states, and all of them require things like my social security number and like a pay stub and like all this sort of things. You know, all these things that undocumented immigrants don't have.
Yeah, but they definitely house them though. I mean, they're not. All of them aren't homeless. Like they are housing them.
No,
somewhere.
they usually stay
I mean,
with
they're probably
relatives and
not
stuff
in the
like that.
nicest areas, but they're not. Maybe they're in like the Bronx or something. They're not in the nicest areas, but they are being housed. I mean, they're not. I mean, I did know they had something on. What was it like? I feel it was called like not Rikers Island. There was like an island where they had like a bunch of like almost like a warehouse full of undocumented immigrants, which I thought was like a little inhumane in New York City.
Yeah, those weren't undocumented immigrants. Those were asylum seekers.
Asylum seekers, yeah.
Those aren't undocumented immigrants. Those are documented immigrants.
What is that? What's the difference? Asylum, like they're still not like they just came because their government's what are they called? Like their government's so bad they got to come.
They came because of a valid fear of the life of them or their family based off the rules under our asylum law.
But
and that doesn't mean that they were even granted. That doesn't even mean they were granted asylum. That means that they were given a court date in order to find out if they granted asylum for the 40% of them that were actually allowed in the country. But those people, since they are here under temporary legal status under our country's laws, it is a good idea to not just leave them outside homeless.
No, I agree. You don't want them to be homeless. But my thing is like, okay, these people are in fear of their life, but there's so many people. We can't bring everyone in. Like there's so many people in, you know, Syria and countries in Africa like Nigeria and stuff like that, and you know, Sudan, West Sudan. There's so many countries that are everyone like. There's so many civilians, even in Gaza. We can't bring them all in. Like these people need to be able to live where they are. Like they need to figure that out themselves. I think we can't just be bringing everyone in. We're not just some.
We got a
lot of issues.
We're not bringing everyone in. Again, like 60% of people just under the Biden administration that even applied for asylum in this country were denied at the southern border. And only 40% were granted temporary legal status, and only about 10% of them actually were granted asylum in the country.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean all the people that came over, like there wasn't everyone was documented that came over the border. Not everyone.
No, but the asylum seekers, which is what we're talking about, which is the people that are housed, those people were. Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, sir, this is what we call scapegoating, right? We have a housing issue in this country, all right? A lot of those housing issues are, again, due to deregulation by the right, okay, which is allowing these companies to buy up these large swaths of homes, or they're being, you know, the construction of them is being hindered by things like tariffs and things like getting rid of the construction force. But instead of analyzing this larger situation of while we're in a housing shortage and what we do to fix it, you would just rather go get rid of the illegals, and that's not the problem. We can still do that. That's not going to fix your housing issue.
I mean, it wouldn't fix. No, we need to build more houses, and the main issue we don't build houses now is because boomers don't want to build more houses because guess what? Then their house price will go down. They want to sell their houses for more. They don't want to sell them for less. So
good. Then let's deport boomers.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
Sir, they can't. The boomers can't stop that. Okay, but again, my problem is not what we do to fix it. There's lots of things that we could do to fix the housing industry. I'm joking, you boomers out there. I love you guys. I'm playing. Jesus Christ. Don't get all upset over there. You know I love you, all right? What I'm saying is there's tons of ways that we could fix the housing industry. Getting rid of undocumented immigrants is not going to fix it. It's not going to fix the housing industry for you. It's not going to get, better job opportunities for that last caller that we had, okay? It's not helping to get criminals out. It's not doing any of those things. It's not helping our economy. Our economy is actually going to take trillions of dollars of loss by the undocumented immigrants leaving. Okay, it's not going to help create more jobs, because jobs are actually created by immigrants, including undocumented immigrants who work supplementary jobs to American citizens. And actually, like, every time you deport like an undocumented immigrant, you're literally almost taking a job off the market, okay, for an American citizen, because for every waitress you need a dishwasher. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not 1-to-1, but on that case, but you know what I'm saying. Okay. So all of these problems that you guys are talking about with undocumented immigrants aren't going to get fixed no matter how many people Donald Trump deports. Does not matter. Okay. These are just little things that Donald Trump likes to say to get people all scared. It gets people all, wild up, and it doesn't fix the problem.
All right. I mean, I see what you're saying. What's your thoughts on Donald Trump and his unveiling support for like countries
Epstein?
like Israel and no for Israel, and it's
my bad. I thought you were gonna ask about his unveiling support for Epstein. You can see how I get confused on that.
I mean, what's the difference? I mean, I think one of the reasons why he has a lot of like support for Israel is because of the Epstein, and they might have some dirt on him. That's what I thought, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Seems like he cares.
But yet you still voted for him, so I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, but I won't vote for anyone in his camp again. I don't think I could do that. I mean, another thing was the H-1B ones. Like, what's your thoughts on that? I don't like, because those are like highly skilled, foreigners coming in and taking, white collar jobs. And the issue with that is, okay, they come in, they get a visa, they work for Google, and now they're working for half of what an American would make, and they're basically indentured to Google because that's where the visa is. If they leave Google, they have to leave the
Our
country.
H-1B visa system is not good when it comes to the way that our labor laws work. That's a correction on how our labor laws are, not on the people on the H-1B visas. They didn't create our labor laws.
Yeah.
But I do have to read. I do have to say this headline is funny. Justice Department to investigate Epstein ties, but not to Trump. President Trump ordered the Justice Department to investigate the dealings of Democrats with Jeffrey Epstein after a week in which his own relationship with a convicted sex offender was in the spotlight. Donald Trump just ordered. I'm gonna let you go, caller. You have a good one while I talk about this headline. All right. You too. Donald Trump just ordered the Justice Department to look into everyone else in the Epstein files, just not him. So they're going to make sure that they check out every single person that's not him. So this should be fun. I wonder if he thinks like he's going to find some dirt on a Democrat, and then all of a sudden we're all going to forget that he's the president. Oh no, you found some person that's not the president in the files? Crazy, wild, I don't care. You're the president. Why are you the president? Why are you the president if you're in the files? Y'all hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Just saying, if anybody else did it, they'd be impeached and in prison. Corey, thank you so much, bud. What's going on, brother? So what do you think about think Bill was thinking when he watched his wife and side piece fight at the press? I mean, knowing Bill, he was probably having a good old time with himself. Okay, Bill's kind of a freak like that. All right, Bill's kind of a freak like that. All right, he was probably enjoying himself just a bit too much. All right, y'all, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Sorry, excuse me. I just assumed Bill was like all about it. All right, we're gonna open these phone lines, keep this thing going. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Make sure you hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hello, how are you?
Hello.
Hi, how are
Can
you?
you hear me?
Kind
Good, how are
of.
you?
It sounds like you're driving or some shit.
I am. Is that okay?
It's just really annoying to hear all the background noise.
So can we have a conversation, or I don't want to force you to have a conversation with me if you don't want to.
No, I would love to have a conversation with you. I do not want to have a conversation with the traffic that I can hear all of. So maybe call back when you
Is
got a
that
little.
better?
That's a lot better, actually. Hello?
I know, is this better?
Yeah, I said that's actually a lot better.
I'm like, hold on, one second. I was on loop because I was also watching your stream.
Oh, gotcha. Well, how old are you?
I'm 31.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump? Do
Is
you
that okay?
still support Trump?
Huh?
Do you still support Trump?
Do I still support Trump? I support Trump because he is our president. I don't support all of his decisions and on how he leads, but I support him because he's what we have to deal with right now.
Gotcha. Would you support
And-
Hitler if he was the president?
I mean, why would you make that comparison between Trump and Hitler?
Would you support Charles Manson if he was the president?
I mean, would you support them if they were the leader of the Democrats? Like, what is this?
What?
Would you support Hitler if he was a Democrat?
No.
If he was the replacement for Kamala, would you still be a Democrat?
No, I'm not a Democrat now, so no.
So you're a Republican now.
Nope, never was that either.
Okay, cool. So we're kind of on like the same side of where.
No, we're not.
we're-
I asked you a very simple question. If Hitler was the president,
No.
would you support him?
No,
Okay, if Charles Manson was the president, would you support him?
no.
So why do you support Donald Trump just because he's the president? Apparently you have some type of views outside of that, okay, which decide your morality towards supporting the president. So when Hitler does horrible things, you wouldn't support him as president. When Charles Manson does horrible things, you wouldn't support him as president.
What has Trump done to put him on the same level as Hitler?
I didn't say he was on the same
my
level,
problem.
sir. I'm just saying there's a large
No,
level.
but when you make comparisons like this, it's like really like out of bad faith because you're going to an extreme like Hitler and then saying, well, Trump hasn't done half of what Hitler has done.
sir,
But if you wouldn't
see,
support Hitler,
it's so
you
funny
shouldn't
how
support Trump.
it's funny how I just say Hitler and you guys get like just fall off the chain. It's fucking hilarious. Every single time. My point was, sir,
there's so
sir,
many other leaders out there that you
Sir,
could have went with. But
I
you
know,
go to
but
the
I say
extreme.
Hitler purposely because it makes you guys crash out so hard.
It's not really a crash out. It's
It
a
was though.
conversation. Still.
No, it was a crash out. We were having a conversation, then you started crashing out as
Well,
soon as I
you
said
call it
Hitler.
a crash out. Let's keep going with the conversation.
Okay. What I'm saying is, sir, you are saying, okay, I support Donald Trump even though I don't support the bad things that he's doing, okay, or the bad person that he is.
Well, I'm not
just
saying
because he's the president. And I'm saying if somebody else that was doing bad stuff and was a bad person was the president, you wouldn't support them. So why do you support this president even though he's doing bad things for America, bad things to people, and he's a bad person?
What has, like, honestly, two things. One, just like me and just like you said you were, we're not really leaning towards either side. Okay?
Oh, I lean all the way to one side.
Okay, so why do you support either one being a Republican, which Donald Trump was voted head of the Republican Party? So why are you still a Republican but doesn't
I'm not a
support
Republican.
Donald Trump? Okay, so who did you vote for?
I voted for Kamala Harris.
Okay, so you voted for her.
Correct.
Okay. So when you voted for her, does that means you went more to what she was aligned with? And do you support everything she was about? Like every
No, sir. I just would never vote in a rapist.
Well, he proved that he's a rapist.
He was adjudicated in court as sexually assaulting E. Jean Carroll by forcibly penetrating her with her fingers.
He wasn't ever actually proven as raping her.
Oh, gotcha.
If you actually look
if it's
into
proven
the
it,
case,
gotcha.
He
So
was only
that's fine,
first
sir.
he wasn't convicted,
Sir,
but
no. So
he
gotcha.
was only even that only case was ruled that way because he said that he has never met this woman, but the woman had a picture of him, and they were like, "Well, you said you never met her, and she has a picture with you."
Sir.
And it's
Sir,
like, well, that
a
picture
jury-
was taken over 40 years ago.
Sir, a jury of his peers said that he sexually assaulted someone. I don't really need more than that. And if you really want to be more than go even further than that, he literally brags about fucking sexually assaulting women. He literally says, "I just go up and grab them by the fucking pussy, and they just let you do it." That, sir. Hold on. Yeah, sir,
your first thing, you're taking that out of context.
Sir, before you start,
second thing,
sir,
there's a
stop
private
talking.
conversation,
Sir.
which man to man,
Sir.
we have probably said things.
Be quiet now. Whenever you're ready. I wasn't done with my sentence.
This is your platform. I respect it.
Yeah, awesome. Go ahead and be quiet. Okay. So, sir, to be completely honest with you, the fact that you're sitting up here trying to defend somebody who literally was adjudicated as sexually assaulting somebody, okay, and brags about just going and grabbing women by their genitals, okay, and now you're trying to defend it as if that's somehow okay through, he was saying, first of all, it wasn't a private conversation. It was literally fucking on fucking national television. He said it in front of a fucking camera. Okay. Literally, not a private conversation. Okay. That is more than enough.
The first time that people heard of that was in a conversation.
The Access Hollywood tape? No, it was not.
When he said that, it was first thing. When he said that, it was taken out of context. Okay, just because somebody says something, you guys just run with it. It's two separate things.
Sir, I don't need just that one
that's
thing.
just
See,
another
you guys like to take you guys like to take
faith.
things little singularly. Okay, it's real cute. Okay, it's really funny.
No, it's
how you guys sir. He was
I don't know
adjudicated.
why you keep saying sir, like if I'm
Sir,
being like
he was adjudicated by a jury of his peers unanimously to have sexually assaulted someone. Okay?
with no proof.
With literal proof. That's why he was
What proof?
found.
With what proof?
Sir, why
Hearsay?
Sir, what proof of any crime does anybody have? Truthfully.
I mean,
there was just a guy
witness.
There was just a guy this week executed in the state of Florida. Okay? So
Okay, so
are you okay with that?
Wait. Let's get back.
No,
go
it's
back.
just ridiculous, sir, because in no other court case of no other crime of any other person would a jury unanimously convict someone, and you're like, show me the proof.
Coming from
the
a
proof,
person with
the
a
proof,
platform
sir,
on
the
a side
proof,
of a fence
sir,
that
the proof,
is around
the
our nation right now that
is
will
the court
convict
case.
him for just being him. That's kind of weird.
There was two confirmed
Okay,
Trump supporters in the
there
jury.
was no proof.
There was two confirmed Trump supporters in the jury. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, two.
And they
Okay,
both convicted
and
him also.
Again, off of what? It wasn't.
Sir, you
It
can go
wasn't
look at the
just-
court documents. The court
did.
documents are the proof. Okay? But regardless of any of that, sir, even if, again, you need to freaking have some difficulty with the freaking evidence, which I think is freaking sad that you're like, because anybody else, I think that was, adjudicated of sexual assault, you would just agree with the jury. But of course, maybe you need more. All right, how about the fact that he admits to doing those exact same things? Oh, well, let's ignore the court case and the fact that he admits to him. Okay,
When
cool.
has he
That's
admitted to it.
The Access Hollywood tape. We already went over this part.
It's insane.
The grabbing by the pussy, that does, just because you say I would do something doesn't mean you did it or have done it.
No, he didn't say I did that. He said I do it. He literally says that, like, currently. Like he says, I just go and do it. He's saying that he does it.
No. First thing, that, and this is another thing that the left is, you want to spin this, but first thing, if he says that now, right, you're saying that he says that now when he's married. It makes no sense.
He cheated on his first wife with his second wife with his third wife, and his third wife with a porn star. You think Donald Trump gives a fuck about whether he's married?
If you're talking about marriage and you're talking about accusing him of doing something, that is two different things, okay? If you want to talk like first thing, can you prove all that? And second thing, by him saying, that's like me saying, oh, I'll punch a guy in the face. Doesn't mean that I'm actually going to punch him in the face, or doesn't mean I have ever punched somebody in the face.
But that's not what he said.
Guess what? I will punch somebody in the face.
That's not what he said, though, so that doesn't change anything, because that's not near what he said.
It's kind of, I'll grab her by the pussy and I'll punch him by the...
No, we would do the same thing as if I go...
If I never punched him in the face,
sir,
and I have never punched anybody in the face, I still said what I said, but still haven't done an action that will make...
You know, he's settled over 30 court cases for sexual assault. You know that, right?
No.
Oh, yeah. He settled over 30 different court cases over accusations of sexual assault.
Are you talking about the payments?
Nope.
So where did you get that information from?
The court. Not hard. These are all public records. Donald Trump's been sued over 4,000 times, funny enough. If he doesn't hold the Guinness Book of World Records record, I think he should.
I don't believe that, but we can... I haven't looked at...
Yeah. So let me go ahead and give you an actual example when it comes to punching people in the face. It would be like if I said, hey, I walk up to those guys and I punch them in the face and they just let me fucking punch them in the face. There was a bunch of guys standing over there. I just went and punched them in the face and they just let me do it because I don't know, because they think I'm cute and I just punch them in the fucking face. And they just let me do it. They just let you do it when you look as cute as I do. That's not saying I could do it. That's saying I fucking did it. Okay?
No, did you do it?
Yes. That's how I know. I said...
But you actually made the action. Nobody is saying
correct.
That
just
he
like
actually
Donald
made
Trump.
The action. You're going
correct.
based off of...
Correct. Just like Donald Trump made the action. Correct.
No, you're going... No, you made the action. He never made the action of grabbing somebody by the pussy. Or that girl, that person...
Well, probably not willingly. I'm sure he's never done that consensually. But...
So you're saying he'd never done it?
Consensually? Probably not. But...
Okay. You're like everywhere right now. But again, you're saying that you actually walked up and punched him in the face because they allowed you to.
Sir. How old did you say you were?
31.
I assume you have a mother?
Yes.
All right, cool. Did you ever imagine like that your mother was like, I'm going to raise someone that defends sexual assault against women?
I'm not, see, now you're trying to attack me personally.
No, I'm not trying to. I'm doing it successfully.
Okay, now you're just being a dick.
I was being a dick prior to that.
So my mom raised me to go off of facts, logic, and to use my mind instead of my emotions.
Then when are you going to do that during this conversation?
I've been doing that the whole time. You're the one that is
Donald
not attacking somebody
Trump
and
was
trying
adjudicated by a court of law okay, to have sexually assaulted someone. Donald Trump brags about sexually assaulting someone. Donald Trump, he said he had
He's
sex.
never bragged about
Sir,
sexually assaulting
I'm still
anybody.
talking. Donald Trump said he had sex in
See,
common with his daughter.
emotions.
Sir, Donald
You're
Trump
probably
said,
what?
Sir,
You're probably like young 20s, right?
yeah,
The emotional
sir,
generation.
would that make you more attracted to me if I was younger?
That's crazy that you will
Then
go
be
there
quiet.
again.
I'm muting you now because I was in the middle of a sentence. Anyways, what I was saying, he literally freaking sexualized a 10-year-old. He said he had sex in common with his daughter. And now literally the Epstein emails are fucking coming out and they're like, oh, Donald Trump knows all about all this fucking crazy weird sex island sex trafficking thing. And Donald Trump knew all about it. They also call him dumb like a lot. It's actually really, really funny. They call him really dumb a lot. Also, the whole thing about him being like super aroused about seeing girls in a swimming pool. And then like Epstein talking about how he hit his nose first on the glass is also just, you know, just seems pretty ironic. Anyways, maybe South Park wasn't, you know, wrong, you know, maybe more right about things than we thought.
Can I talk or am I unmuted? Yeah, so I'm still muted.
I don't know. Are you?
I don't know. You said you were gonna mute me.
Yeah, just so I could finish my sentence, sir. I don't ask for
Exactly.
a lot
Why
on
you
here.
overwhelm your crowd and your audience with your lies? That way you can make sure that
I'm
you
just
try to
joking.
make
You're
this
muted.
guy seem as worse as you can.
I'm just joking.
So you
You're
have
muted.
to mute me.
Yeah, you're muted actually right now. No one heard anything you just said.
Okay, but okay, still I'm talking to you. I didn't call for your audience. I called for you.
Oh, you called for me. Oh,
So as
you
long
want to
as-
talk to me?
So as long as
Oh, hey.
so as long as you're hearing me, that's all that matters.
Sir, my
Because all you're
audience
doing
is not overwhelmed.
All you're doing is
You're
pushing more
overwhelmed.
hate in the United States
Sir.
with this.
Sir,
So
no one in my
when
audience
you
is
were talking
overwhelmed.
to your audience earlier about putting America first, he's actually trying to put America first.
How?
Besides other countries,
Like
besides
Argentina?
other beliefs.
Nigeria?
Well, if he wasn't trying to make the world a better place, trying to keep alliances with America, trying to do tariffs that are in the forefront looks bad, but we can't even give this guy a year to where we can actually reap the benefits from it.
He just said he's repealing a lot of those tariffs.
Because they worked.
No, he's repealing them because he understands that he just got his ass whooped in an election and now all these Epstein files are coming out. And now he's realizing that because the tariffs increased all the
What are you
prices for the
talking about Epstein
consumers.
files coming out?
Man. So, see, he's realizing that
So
all these prices.
he
Oh,
took
still not going
back-
to let me talk, huh?
He
All right.
took back
Interesting.
tariffs because of the Epstein files?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I think you're mixing things, bro.
I am not. You know what? In any other presidency on any other timeline in any fucking dimension other than the one we're
we
living in
wouldn't
right now,
have as
sir,
much hate being spewed over social media and
All right.
YouTube.
in any other timeline, it would literally like make zero sense, right? It would be like Donald Trump is removing tariffs because of the Epstein files, and that wouldn't make any sense whatsoever. Unfortunately, isn't it crazy how like in this timeline it actually makes sense? Isn't that wild? Isn't it crazy how that actually makes sense? You know? Isn't that sad? So I just think it's crazy that we actually have to have this conversation. You know what I'm saying? Isn't that? I just think it's wild.
It probably is wild because look what else we have to deal with. We're dealing with tariffs right now, but then we would have had to be dealing with men going into women's bathroom and women's public spaces if we voted the other side. So you would vote in Kamala that was putting predators in the same bathroom with women, but at the same time coming out here and
sounds
trying
great.
to frame
Hey,
Donald Trump.
can you please tell me where Kamala Harris said I want men in the bathroom with women?
When she said that she supports having trans women use public women's bathrooms.
Where did she say that?
On like 2 of her press conferences?
Really? Never heard it. Where can I find one?
YouTube. You're a YouTuber.
No, I mean, yeah, I am on YouTube. I watch YouTube all the time. I've watched almost every interview that,
So look it
that
up.
Kamala Harris ever. Oh, I have. I've looked up every interview that she's ever had, and she never said that. So I'd like you to tell me where she said that.
YouTube.
Sir, I heard that the first time, and since I've watched every
Put it-
single
put
interview, I
in-
would love to see. Which,
put
no,
in
sir,
Kamala-
sir, I'm not doing your research for you. You tell me where I can find it, and I'll put it up. I'll put it on the screen. I'll play it for everybody here to say it.
Put in
Nope, sir,
Kamala
sir,
Harrison.
I need you to listen to me very, very clearly because I'm only going to say this one more time. I am not going to go find it for you if you
just
know
said
where I
if I tell
can
you,
find
you'll
it.
put it on.
You tell me where I
If
can
I
find
can't
it,
tell
not
you the
where.
video's name, how are you
All right,
not?
what's the
how are you
video's
gonna
name?
put it on?
What's the video's name?
Okay, Kamala Harrison
Kamala Harrison
promotes
promotes
trans women's.
trans women's. Okay.
You got it?
Oh yeah, I'm keeping up. Kamala Harrison promotes trans women's
In public spaces.
in public spaces. Now, first of all, public spaces are not bathrooms, so don't really know what's going.
I mean, isn't a public
Let's
bathroom?
see. Put that in. Let's see.
Isn't a public bathroom a public space?
And YouTube. Let's see. Here's the only one that comes up on YouTube.
How do we get those men to stop killing trans women of color? We are hunted. I know.
All right, we're gonna play the first thing that comes up on YouTube because it's what you told me to look up. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and play it for everybody. All right.
Stop killing us. How do we
Well, I
get
can
those men
see.
to stop killing trans women of color? We are hunted.
I know. Insane.
I know. How do we do that? No, I you're right. And so,
almost
so,
half
but
of
I'm just
her
saying, so I want
preaching
you to be able to
points
talk.
was,
That's what I'm saying.
Trans and gays rights.
We have, it's a number of things. I mean, one, there has to be serious consequence and accountability when it happens, which means there needs to be a safe place for the members of our transgender community to go when they have been exposed to that kind of harm, and we know there's not always a safe place. I will tell you, when I was District Attorney of San Francisco, it was after the tragedy of Gwen Arahu, Matthew Shepard, and other cases where people were being killed. And what was happening in courtrooms is that if the killer was caught and arrested and charged, in the courtroom they would offer a defense. It was called the gay or trans panic defense. You remember that? And they'd say, oh, I freaked out, therefore I didn't have the state of mind for which you can convict me of murder. And I saw this happening. So I convened prosecutors from around the country, first ever time it ever happened, to come to San Francisco, and we created a whole training on how to defeat the gay trans panic defense. And we brought in and this was in the early 2000s, and brought in, you know, I say with pride that there are a lot of the leaders, early leaders in the trans community who came from San Francisco, and so we brought in these leaders to talk about the community, to talk about how the issue is playing out, to talk about the injustices, and it ended up being a model for what needs to happen around also what we do around public safety, to make sure that it does not go without consequence. I hear you.
Well, that didn't go exactly the way you had planned it. I'll let you know that right now.
I'm not sure what video you watched, so I'm not really sure.
Well, see, you don't know what video I watched, sir, because I asked you to tell me which video I should pull up, and you just told me to type it in and pull up what's on YouTube. And what I pulled up on YouTube is Kamala Harris very decently articulating, I think actually very excellently articulating, how so many people were actually killing trans people for being in bathrooms, and how she fought against that to where she actually had, hold on, I'm still talking. You can speak when I'm finished. Thank you. How she was
Okay.
articulating how she was trying to
Very
not
entitled.
allow
That's
people to
cool.
have these freaking rash murders and be able to claim some type of insanity defense that they didn't actually deserve for killing trans people that, you know, that were not committing any type of violence or hurting anyone. Are you there?
Yeah, I know. Like you like to talk down to people, and you said like no, like I talk when I talk, and you shut up. So you know, I kind of need to know when you're done talking.
Yeah,
So I can
it's pretty
speak.
easy. Like, you see how I'm talking right now? It's when this stops.
I know, but you do that
See, you
sometimes,
did
and
it
I
right
start
there.
talking.
You nailed it. See, as soon as I got done talking, you talked immediately. It's almost like you graduated kindergarten. That was amazing.
Okay, cool. So like, so you're saying that you watched the video to
Mm-hmm.
where she had trans people in what bathroom? Opposite gender, same gender?
That was not what the video was about at all.
I don't know what video you pulled up. You just said the first
Well,
one.
sir,
It might
that's
not have been the
why
video
I
that.
asked you to tell me what video to pull up, and you refused to do that.
I mean, well, I'll give you that because I did say at the starting of the podcast, well, the beginning of the phone call, that I'm in my car driving. I can't look it up. So I will give you that.
I just typed it
but-
in like the way you said. And again, she didn't say any of the shit you said. She was actually really just talking about prosecuting murderers.
Okay, but
Which
what
I
was
think
her
is a pretty good
solution
thing.
for the trans community, though?
The solution for you looking for the final solution over here?
If she was trying to protect trans people from going into, let's just say, a trans woman going into a male's bathroom.
She was trying to protect trans people from being murdered.
Oh, okay. I was talking about bathrooms.
So was she.
Okay.
Do you
So,
believe that trans people
now-
that are in bathrooms that you don't like should be murdered?
No.
Okay,
Nobody
that's
said
what she
that.
was saying. She was saying, I also don't
So
think they should get murdered.
I can say that me and Kamala both agree on that.
Well, you should have voted for her then.
But not every trans person that goes into a public bathroom is murdered.
Correct.
Okay, so we all agree on that is bad. My whole thing was what her solution for that would be, or what she said it was, is to allow transgender women
Sir,
to go
I want you
into
to listen to
the
me very
assigned
clearly. Hey,
bathroom
shh.
of their gender for their protection. And that means a biological man that is now identified as a trans woman for.
Sir, I understand that every single fucking time, okay, you guys get absolutely dog walked on every single fucking subject because you guys know nothing. Okay. You guys immediately try to switch the conversation to trans people. Okay. But here's what's going to happen. Okay, sir. I have no will to have this conversation about trans people with you. I am so sick and tired of you guys trying to change every conversation to a conversation about less than like 1% of 1% of people that just make you afraid, okay, and scared, okay, because of whatever repressed feelings that you have about trans people, okay? And it's really, really sad, okay? Donald Trump literally sexual assaults people. Donald Trump sexualized his daughter. Donald Trump sexualized a 10-year-old. And Donald Trump is in a bunch of Epstein emails talking about how he knew everything about the freaking one of the largest sex traffickers in the world. And you want to change your conversation to trans people because you're realizing, okay, that the president that you support and that the president that you voted for, okay, is a very, 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 very sad thing. Okay. And so I am not going to let you sit here and try to demonize trans people. Okay. Because it's just really, really sad. So here's what's going to happen. All right. All right. So here's what's going to happen. Okay. I'm going to let you attempt to make a valid argument towards something, but you have not made one yet. But I'm going to
I
let
just
you
made one and you just lost.
Well, then you got me. You nailed it, man. You were so good.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Thank you for that. Now we can go into another topic if you want.
I don't want to talk to you at all, honestly.
Yeah, because I was probably the first person today to actually prove to you that her thing that one of the things, it wasn't everything, but one of the things that she was trying to do is let transgender women go into the biological women's bathroom.
All right,
Which,
sir.
if that would have been passed,
All right, sir. Well, obviously you have no other conversation to talk about, and you're a waste of space and breath. Okay. No, sir. Again, I already said, sir, I already said, I do not want to talk to you. I don't think you're a very good person. Okay. Nor do I think you're attempting to like have a conversation.
You're running away from this You're running away from somebody that can actually debate you.
A horrible day,
You're running
which is
away from
probably what
somebody
you
that can actually
deserve.
debate you.
All right. And so have a good one. Okay.
I'll take this win. Thank you. Have a blessed night.
Winners don't have to say they won, sweetheart. Guys, winners don't have to say that they won. Just thought I'd let you know that. Lovely Goddess, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Said, here we go. The U.S. on a crash course straight to hell, but the most important thing on closeted MAGA men's minds are trans people and their genitalia. Dude, if Donald Trump could care about our economy as much as MAGA men care about fucking like who has a penis, we would be like completely out of debt by now. We would be completely out of debt if literally just Trump would care half as much about our economy as MAGA men do care about fucking penises. It's very weird. Yo, please hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. It's fucking weird, dude. You guys' obsession with male genitalia is strange. It's so strange. Keith, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. I don't remember who said this. Never waste your time explaining yourself when who is dedicated to misunderstanding you. Well, I would love to do that. Unfortunately, this is most of MAGA. Okay? Unfortunately, this is most of MAGA, which is, I don't know why, but it is. That's how we got to where we're at right now. And Colin, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Said, is Trump perfect? No, but Biden has dementia. Is that how you spell dementia? That's crazy. Clearly wasn't there and has stage 4 cancer and media covered it up. I'll take Trump over him. Donald Trump literally just took a dementia test, didn't know it was a dementia test, thought it was an IQ test, and said it was really hard. Was really impressed with himself that he could pick out the giraffe, and then got immediately taken to get a brain MRI. Also, there is 0 chance that's the way you spell dementia. You might have dementia. Dementia? Is that what this is? Donald Trump literally just took a dementia test and called it hard. Dementia tests aren't supposed to be hard unless you have dementia. Yeah. Oh, that must be embarrassing. That must be embarrassing. Dementia. Dementia. I don't know. We dancing over here? Is that what we got going on? Bro, how are you gonna talk about people having dementia and then simultaneously not be able to fucking spell dementia? Someone said it's in Spanish, bro. Fuck. Dementia. Oh my God, y'all are wilding over here. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. It's the new dance craze. Diamonds, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Said, hey, Paula, good to see you. Think I'm coming down with a cold or something. Can't even diamond paint. So seeing you being on helps you love you. Thank you so much, Diamonds. I really, really appreciate that. I'm so happy that you're I'm hoping I can help. I hope you feel a lot better. Can we all just give dementia? Oh, sorry, dementia. Jesus Christ, dementia. Can we give Diamond some big W's in the chat to help her feel better? To help her feel better. I think that would be really amazing. Sorry, I can't. The dementia is gonna get me all night long. I'm sorry. That's gonna do it for me. That's wild. Some W chat. Feel better, Diamonds. Diamonds are forever. It's replacing Mambo number 5 as well, too. Y'all are crazy out there. And Luis, oh my God, huge W's in the chat for Luis for the $100 super chat. Can we get some huge W's in the chat for Luis with a huge $100 super chat right before my vacation, too? I really, really appreciate that. For y'all who don't know, I will be off and for the next until Tuesday of next week. I'm going on a little mini vacation. So, Luis, thank you so much for this huge $100 super chat for it. This is my appreciation for how much I'm learning from you. Thanks for creating this space with this amazing community. Keep up the work. Thank you so much, Luis. Speaking of my community, make sure you guys are joining the Discord. There is a public part of it, and there's also a subscriber part of it. So if you're a subscriber, if you're a member, if you're a follower, I love my followers. Don't take it the wrong way. Sorry, but I was saying if you're a follower, you guys can all join the Discord under different spots of it and stuff like that. So make sure you guys are joining the Discord, join the community. We have a lot of really, really awesome stuff in there. We're constantly changing it, constantly moving it forward, constantly trying to do some good stuff for the community, and also. There will be a meet and greet on one of those days. On one of those days this month. There will be a meet and greet in the area of Riverside, California later this month. Okay, it was decided today. It will happen the 29th.
It's insane.
The 29th of this month, there will be a little meet and greet. The Discord is in the link tree in the bio. So you'll find it in there, all right? But there'll be a little meet and greet on the 29th in the area of Riverside, California. I have not named... Dude, someone says Spaghetti Factory. Don't think I didn't think about it. Don't think I didn't think about the Spaghetti Factory. I thought about it real hard. Y'all from the 951, y'all know about the Spaghetti Factory. But make sure you join the Discord. That is how you will know where we pick it. Someone said come to Lancaster. You're in the high desert. You can come down, okay? If I'm coming from Florida to California, you can come down from Lancaster, Brian. All right? But I'm planning on finding a little spot, maybe like a yard house or maybe a little brewery someplace in the area. And I'm not going to Castle Park. Y'all are wild. But if you guys are in that area, make sure you guys are in the Discord. Please, 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 please. That's how you guys will know where the location will be. I don't know how many people are going to be there. And if this one goes successfully, this will just be one of many that I plan on doing over the next year or so. So make sure you guys are joining the Discord for that. And yeah, that's how we'll do that. Someone said, can I find the Cashcord or Discord link in the bio? They're both in my link tree in my bio. And the Cash App is Polypolitics, just like my name, just get rid of the numbers. And that's how it is. It's okay. You know what, guys? I'm not going to hide just because, of what I do here. We are going to have a time. We're going to go out. We're going to have a few drinks. We're going to talk some politics. I'm going to meet you guys for a second, okay? And we're going to have a little fun out there in the Riverside area. Again, it might be Moval. It might be Riverside. It might be Corona. It might be. I'm looking for something near UCR. Is where I'm looking to have the meet and greet. Okay. So this will be my first meet and greet as a creator. I've been doing this for over 2 years on TikTok, and of course about 6 months here on TikTok. Or sorry, on YouTube. About 6 months on YouTube and about 2 years on TikTok. So this will be the first meet and greet that I've done. Okay. So make sure you guys show up. It'll be super fun. We will have a really, really great time. It'll be awesome. If you live in Florida, make sure you join the Discord because I live in Florida and I would love to do a meet and greet out here. I would love to do a meet and greet out here. All right. Guys, all the places you guys are throwing out, I would love to do Tampa. I would love to do Phoenix. I would love to do all these places. Okay? I would love to do all these places. Even Oklahoma. I would love to do Oklahoma. Okay? Make sure you're in the Discord. Make sure you guys are following. We're gonna do a bunch of these things. I'm hoping to do, if this one goes successfully in California, I want to do at least 4 or 5 more
Insane.
Next year. But the first one's gonna be in Riverside area. Make sure you guys show up for that because that'll be like super clutch. And I don't know how it's gonna go. Vegas would also be awesome. I used to live in Vegas. That'd be amazing. So thank you so much, Luis, for that. I really, really do appreciate that. I really, really do. I hope to do one, and I would love to do Tampa too. Tampa would be great also. So, I won't forget the Midwest. I won't forget anybody out there, okay? I won't forget anybody, but we're going to try to do one, and then we're going to go from there, y'all. I think that's fair, okay? We'll do one, and then we'll go from there, okay? Because I would love to travel all across this country and meet you guys. That would be amazing. Oh my goodness, someone just said Festival of Lights will be going on that time in downtown Riverside. You guys want to know some crazy shit? So when I was in high school, my choir actually used to sing at Festival of Lights every single year. Yep. My choir used to sing at the Festival of Lights in downtown Riverside every single year. So that's really amazing that Shay knows about that. That's wild. That's very, very cool. So we'll see what's up. We'll see. We'll do some fun stuff. And make sure, and if you follow Ari too, she's going to be there. And we're going to do that on the 29th. I believe it's the 29th. On the 29th. So follow the Discord and we'll definitely do that, okay? CC, thank you so much for the $5. The $5 twice. Thank you so much. Ono said Carl is here. I don't know who Carl is, so I don't really know why I should be so afraid of Carl. But I'm scared of Carl also. Carl. And Tara, thank you so much for the $50 over on Venmo. Thank you so much, Tara. Said, have a few on me. Happy vacation. Thank you so much. This is actually the mini vacation before we go out to Cali. So yeah, we're going to actually be, I'll give you a little hint. I may or may not be going to watch my favorite team this weekend. I'll put pictures in the Discord. But I may or may not be going to watch my favorite team this weekend. So I'll definitely throw some stuff in the Discord on that. So for you guys who have been around me for a while, you guys know who that is. So yeah, I'll be at the game this weekend, having a little mini vacation, and then off to a concert right after that. So can we get huge W's in the chat for Tara for that $50 Venmo? I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. I really, really do appreciate you guys. All right. You guys have been absolutely awesome today. Make sure, again, you guys join the Discord, especially if you want to come to that meet and greet. That's how I'll kind of get a little bit of a feel for how many people are going to be there. And we're going to go find a brewery or something, or a little bar. We're going to have a few drinks. We're going to BS, and we're just going to friggin' meet and have a good time. So, I'm seeing happy birthday Mystic in there. I'm seeing happy early birthday Shay. Okay, so can we get, before we get offline, can we get a big happy birthday to Mystic and Shay, two of my most loyal people over there on YouTube. So big W's in chat and big happy birthdays to both of them. Happy birthday to you.
Insane.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Shane Mystic. Happy birthday to you. And many, many more. Luis, you can join the Discord. It is in my bio, in my link tree, in my bio. Go hit the link tree link in my bio, and that will take you to my Discord. It'll take you to my Cash App, my Venmo. It'll take you to my merch shop. It will take you to all of my things. So check it out there, and I will see you guys then. Besides that, y'all, I will see you guys on Tuesday when I get back from having my little mini vacay, all right? Love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much. Hope you guys have a wonderful one. All right. Bye.